It's not like you're not being tested. So this is production meeting number 3, and I have got Joe and Kaz here, and I've also got Harriet, who's kind of doing some research around front of house, and we're looking at the practicalities of what that might look like for this particular production. And we're just having this little discussion about the difference between front of house and an usher. So I'm just kind of putting it out there and asking Kaz what she thinks about that.
Okay, well, I personally include ushers as part of the front of house team, so they're not actually separate. They have a slightly different role, but they're still part of the front of house team. So front of house will be people like your box office, your bar staff, and your ushers. Okay, so the ushers tend to look after the audience as they come in and out of the theatre, but you're right, they do sometimes sit in and watch the show as well. Whereas your bar and your box office staff will stay outside. They don't get to see the show, generally. They're kind of ordering, sorting out interval drinks, that kind of thing. So.
Is that helpful?
Yes.
What did
That's
just go on?
That's sort of what I was thinking. I just couldn't really necessarily put it.
And anything you observed particularly at the show that you maybe hadn't thought about before?
I guess like I knew sort of in the back of my mind, but like people that they had a guy come out with like a big sign being like, please turn off your mobile phones, and like I don't know, I didn't really think about like stuff like asking an audience to do stuff like, you know, turn off your phones and stuff. And I really thought that would be something that, you know, would be done.
That's another thing, it depends on the theatre, the side of the theatre. Because actually the DSM will do a lot of the front of house calls and tell people to turn their phones off and things. But there are some theatres where there will be a front of house manager and they will do that too.
What's a DSM?
Deputy stage manager.
Yeah, that's a luxury.
Yeah.
Casa doesn't have depths very often, do you? Yeah. And like, so the Theatre Royal in Bath, they have, where did you go and watch the show?
Theatre Royal.
Yeah, so they have signs, don't they? They don't tend to do kind of speaky things.
Yeah.
I've got no words left. Sorry, phone. This has been one of those days. They don't tend to do announcements. They use signs, but yeah, different theatres have different things, and that's probably worth you jotting down, because you know the theatre space. So this can be one of your jobs over this next week, having been in the theatre and seeing it from an actor's point of view, is going in and maybe writing a list of those things that we need to cover for this show. So it's show specific, it's not in general, because you'll be able to research the general stuff.
The stuff actually.
But for this show, what kinds of things do we need to talk about? You know, whether that's a sign or an announcement, or ushers as they're, you know, showing people in that could just mention it. Depends how big a deal you want to make it. But if you can write a sort of a list with the most important things, and then maybe landing with, I'm not quite sure whether this is really important, but it could be, and just have a list. That's a kind of a takeaway for you to add to your Wix as well.
Right, okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Fantastic. So really, we talked through some of the stuff that we would need to try and source, and we've already managed to sort quite a lot of stuff out.
Yay.
From set point of view, Harry has ordered a platform that's going to be, I think it's 8x4, which initially was going to be used as bed for levels for particular scenes and bench, but actually that's quite big. And because what we've done is the shape that you see that's on the floor, we've created quite a square stage area, because we're quite a small cast, and we wanted to get this sense of canopy and being trapped.
Yeah.
So it's not a huge space, which means exits are a little bit more limited than they were. So we're thinking about moving the platform that we've hired and using that as a back platform so that we've just got a level. So it means that whenever we've got the sisters in their triangle, or there's sort of a significant moment, that those at the back can be higher, and ensemble songs as well. We've got some height. And my husband Mark, who's a sort of a bit of a chippy, who's made set stuff before, he's going to create a probably no more than, I'd say probably maximum 1.5 meters width piece of platform that is going to be shaped at one end like a bed, shaped at another end like a bridge, and then if you turn it on its side it will just look like a bench, and it becomes those three things. And depending on how heavy it is, so it will have handles cut in. Because it's smaller, it shouldn't be too heavy, but it could potentially go on casters, so it just gets moved and then clicked into place. So that's what we're playing with at the moment, Kaz. So rather than having a massive, heavy bit of kit on stage that has to be moved, that goes in one place at the back, stays there throughout the show, and we just use that. And then we've got this smaller piece that can be used in 3 different contexts. So he's designing that at the moment, so I can send that to you. We have sourced a 3-legged stool, a proper broom, a staff for the elder, a stick, which I think that the one that you brought in, Joe, today would be the one that Tom uses, because it's quite a big. That's quite a big one, isn't it? So we need a smaller one for Twig. Similarly, we have Red's basket sorted. I've got a little bottle that looks like a vial or but I just wondered from I don't know what would be look more authentic for a bottle of cordial that's vaguely medieval. Because glass would be a luxury, wouldn't it?
It would be a luxury, yes.
So we've got that for now, but I think Amy might have something that lives in a little purse. You pull it out, it might look a little bit more authentic. So Amy's dad is works in film and has loads and loads of prop stuff, but specifically they do medieval reenactment, so they've got loads of stuff.
Useful.
So that means they're also bringing in, guess what? A wooden wheelbarrow. So we've got that. I think it's a cart, because they didn't have wheelbarrows in those days, but yeah, they've got something. So we don't have to make that either. Mark is going to come in on the get-in day on the Friday, and he will make alterations to the freestanding door and turn that into a stable door. So Harry's got I think he's got a load of old sort of tongue and groove, which looks relatively cottagey, and we'll dress the door to make it look a bit more age appropriate, and then he'll split it so that it will sit in the frame 2-way. What else have we done? And so I was just before you came, I was having a conversation with Joe just about costume, and ordered a significant amount of stuff on Amazon. So a lot of that's coming today and next week. So in the gaps, we're just going to be trying stuff on. Amy's going to look at some makeup possibilities for the wolf, because I've ordered wolf-like ears, so they're not like panto ears, they're like
that's good.
proper, and they sit on a metal band, so it sit into Sam's hair. But not sure whether that is we try and kind of chisel his face. I've said to Sam, would he be prepared to just grow his beard right out? I said, how long does it go? He said, I don't know. So he's just going to grow it, because he's got very dark facial hair, and it might be that we could use that as part of the wolf face. Trying to think what else. You've got that another green
velvet cape.
Yeah, the velvet cape, which is lovely. Harriet, what else did we have yesterday and today, just prop wise? Oh, I've got at the moment. I've got a plastic bread roll, but it'd be nice just to source a big pack of bread rolls and then get used in for that production week. So they look authentic, but not like Sainsbury's Baps, like something that looks a bit like a cobbler.
Yeah.
Is that the right? If I
Cob.
not a cobbler. So
Does someone need? There's a woodcutter. Is there? What does Jack do? He's a woodcutter.
yeah,
Does
so
he
we need
some sort of axe?
yeah, yes. Have you got one?
I've
Are you
got
offering?
one, Yeah.
Is it a wooden?
It's a wooden. It's one my dad made for one of the kids once. So I've got that.
Okay.
It's not metal. It's wood.
That'd be amazing. How
Yeah.
sharp is it?
It's not sharp. It's plywood painted to look like.
Okay. Does it look authentic?
Looks like a wooden axe.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can
yeah.
make it look more authentic if you want to use more metallic paint on the blade if you want to.
No, I mean it'd be better to not. I mean Harry's got a lock away if we've got stuff that is sharp actually for that. Would that be alright to
Yeah,
bring that in?
yeah.
That'd be brilliant. Do you know how heavy it is roughly?
No, it's not heavy.
Okay.
It might not be what you want at all. It's a piece of dowel that my dad painted to look like an axe with an axe head
Yeah.
on the end.
Okay.
So
Yeah, bring it in.
It's pretend, but
Yeah.
you can do what you want with it.
Okay.
Paint it up.
No, that's good. That's brilliant. And that could, if that needs a little bit of sort of alterations, then Mott could do that on the Friday if he's got all his stuff out anyway. Kaz, just from stage management point of view, any questions you wanted to ask at this stage?
I would like to have a meeting with Katie and just have a look at her props list and go through it with her.
Okay. So if have you got her proper name? So you can just message her on Teams. Yeah. I just put that in. She is in. Which are your teaching days?
Mondays and Thursdays.
Thursdays, okay. But you're coming in on the 17th anyway, aren't you? Is that going to be too late for a meeting with Katie? That's next.
I mean, I am, yes. I'm just trying to work out when the 17th is. Oh, yeah, it's 2 weeks. Oh, you mean the 18th? 17th is Tuesday.
Whichever was the best day for you.
It's the Wednesday.
So Wednesday 18th.
Yeah.
Okay.
But even if I can catch her like on a Monday lunchtime or something.
Yeah, Monday lunchtime would be brilliant. You could do that this Monday. I think the sooner the better.
I think sooner the
Do you want
better.
to message Katie after this meeting?
Yeah.
Because then, and I can also chat with her this afternoon, just make sure that she knows that's part of her project.
Yeah.
And then if one of you could record your meeting as well, that'd be fantastic. I just wanted to show you this. This is Harry playing. He said this is kind of backdroppy.
Oh, good. That's brilliant.
That's amazing.
That's just using the fishing line from.
That is really cool.
And he's lit that. We're probably, but it's so effective, isn't it? You just suddenly get height that you don't have when you're looking at a flat. So it's atmospheric. Harriet, what do you think?
I like it.
Yeah. So he's just mucking around. He hasn't put that properly. He just wanted to know. Right. So if I leave you to action that one.
Yeah.
Anything that you wanted to talk while you've got Harriet here, because she's your sort of primary person. Is there anything you wanted to talk to her about while you've got her here at this stage?
It's sort of health and safety stuff, isn't it? For front of house, things like that.
Yeah.
We need to be.
So we've got a meeting. Harry's got a meeting rather with Health and Safety Board of College. So they're going to write a risk assessment for performances in the theatre. So it will be a general risk assessment.
Right, yeah.
So that would be a good one to work from, because then you're kind of reading that and go, right, we've done all these things. What specific things do we need to have in place for this particular performance? But that just means that you're not having to do the legwork for something
Yeah.
that is departmental, and
Yeah.
that's not you're here as a lovely, friendly volunteer.
Yeah, be friendly.
Lovely and friendly. Mean it?
Yeah.
Harriet, anything you wanted to talk about?
Not really.
No? You kind of happy pootling along, doing... Probably need to do a little bit of reading on front of house stuff
Yes.
sooner than later, she
Yes.
says in a
Yes.
non-naggy way, but I think
Mhm.
because then you know what you know,
Yeah.
and I think that list,
Yes.
if you can send that to Joe,
Yes. I can write that up when we're at the put your room later today.
yeah. So most important,
Most important, least important.
least important, or thing you're not quite sure about, whether that's one of the things that
Yeah.
you need to be concerned about, and you've got that, and you can send that to Joe, so you've got a shared
Okay.
idea.
Sorry.
And then don't action anything until we've got our proper risk assessment done.
Yeah.
And then it would just be like some tweaks, so that you and Harriet could do together,
Yeah, okay.
which would be awesome. So my thing, when I sent out an invite, I sent an invite out to staff this week, Harriet. You won't know that because you're not staff. And it basically, this is what we're doing. It's not a public performance. This is an invited only.
Yeah.
But if members of staff or any of their students are particularly interested and want to come, we've got a certain number of seats.
Alright.
Email Meg. Okay, so I've already started getting people emailing. But one of the things I put on there is we need approximately 4 ushers. And obviously not heard a stitch. So it's having a plan in place. What happens if nobody responds?
Yeah.
And nobody wants to do any work experience, what we're going to do, because we will need some people, and how are we going to do that?
Yeah.
Have we got a kind of a plan B,
Right. Yeah.
which is always part of a risk assessment
Get my brother to do
anyway.
it. Get away. Get there. Do it.
Get your brother to do it. I can
Yeah.
get my children to do it. It's like a family affair.
Yeah,
This-
all the that was Tom was calling his
I mean, he's doing-
the little
he's
goblin.
doing drama
That's his
music. He's
sister.
doing like drama and music for GCSE, so it could be work experience for him.
Yeah,
Go be
definitely.
an usher.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, we've got, because we have adults around. We could, there could be some sort of under 18s asked to do it, and that's completely fine. But it seems a shame that you've got students here who have to do work experience. So it's something they could tick off relatively easily. So yeah, if you could think about that, but I'll keep you posted as soon as I know.
Okay. Yeah.
And what will happen is, if I get some volunteers, I will give you those names,
Right.
and I'll give Joe those names, so that straight away you can contact them for. They won't need to come to any of the rehearsals,
No.
but they will need a debrief.
Yeah.
Sorry, they'll need a brief,
Yes.
and then they'll need a debrief afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic. Okay. Anything else? AOB.
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 Katie's working on her prop list, isn't she? So that can be ticked off once she's made
Yeah.
the list.
Yeah. Kaz, anything else you're thinking?
No, I think I just need to talk to Katie and then go from there.
Fab. Okay. I mean, one of the things could be how to get an axe that's been made as a prop to look like an authentic axe. That it could be something. So Kate is really good at detail, like honing right into really, really small detail. So I wondered whether one of her processes might be sort of altering, but I don't know.
Or how to get a real axe look medieval. Got a real axe as well, small one, but that's probably too sharp,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Well, as long as we've written a risk assessment and don't leave it lying around randomly. So, hi Arch.
Hello.
So am I calling this to close? Do you think?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. Right then. Well, thank you very much for coming to our third production meeting, and I will send all of this to Harriet, and then she's got something to work from. Brilliant. I have to remember that. Thank you, Harriet.